We are watching KMTV from this is the closing argument. We are live on Hot FM 107.9 in Monrovia. We are also live on Puma FM in Bombing 106.3. Well, the closing argument comes with fascinating topics for your listening pleasures. Tonight's edition of the closing argument will bring live guest panelists to join the folks on the show. So let's now welcome Chief Sintomali Yawolo George, who is going to take on the show tonight. Good evening to you, Sintomali.
Yeah, good evening, Ayusin. Can you get me loud?
You're loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Welcome to our listening audience, wherever you are. Our host for the night just joined us, so I'll just Jackie, take it from there, right? They just joined us.
I thought you were hosting.
Because I don't want to be hosting and something happening around here. So
No, you're good. I can pick up from you. How are you doing? How's Liberia?
The intro, you can take it from there. Okay. But anyway, welcome again to another edition of the host of the show, The Closing Argument, Wednesday, April 26, 2023. I'm here in Monrovia, Liberia, and Dr. Peabody is in Pennsylvania. Kev Hassan is in Maryland, and Jackie McKay is in Atlanta, Georgia. And it is 8:44 p.m. in Liberia, and I guess 4:44 p.m. in the United States Eastern Coast. Well, once again, another interesting edition of our show, The Closing Argument. As you all know, there are a lot going on in our country as we approach the election, one of the most consequential elections in our country history, in less than 6 months. And today we have a lot to discuss about. We have some guest panelists. We have the General Meneer Kishen. We have Mr. Samuel P. Jackson, one of Liberia's in Africa, a renowned economist, and also Mr. Vani Saki, another member of the Unity Party, a supporter of the Unity Party. So, guys, without much ado, we'll now ask you guys to give your opening comments, and then we can start the program. So we'll start with Kev, and then Peabody, and then Jackie will take over from there now. Thank you, guys. Go ahead, Kev.
Well, let me say hi to everybody, and we're approaching the announcement of I think 1 day or 2 more days to the Unity Party. We want to hear from the Unity Party guys, who, although I could say the de facto president announced it, a chairman or political leader announced it the other day. So we were just willing to see how the ceremony is going to be. And another thing, again, the government respond to the U.S. ambassador. It's out there. I think we all need to look at it with a bunch of evidence. So it's out there. Go ahead, guys. It's true.
Well, it's another exciting day. Oh, there's an echo. Is that mine?
Yeah, you. Mm-hmm.
All right. You sound okay.
I will log off and come back in.
Okay, with that being said, good evening, Liberia. Good afternoon, Tomalin, Kef, and hello to all Liberians all around the world in the diaspora and in Liberia. As Tomalin said, we have a good show today. We have the economist Sam Jackson, who will be joining us today. And we'll also have 2 other guest panelists who will also be joining us today as well. So it's going to be an exciting show. Kev, you just said something. You said that the government responded to the ambassador. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. And when was that? When did that take place?
Actually, it came out like an hour, between hour and a half, hour or less than that to go.
Okay, I can't wait.
Through the Information Ministry?
Yes. So
Mika, so did you get a chance to read it at all?
not throughout. I'll be looking at it while we're on the show.
Okay. So I see some of our guests already making comments. Asata Dawson, hello. Dew Salah, Josiah Masali, Emmanuel Tier, Boyman Passaway, Isaac Ben, Pape Kieta, Nora, Janet. We want to welcome all of you to today's version of Closing Argument. The month of April is almost over with. And we had a lot that happened today, this month. A whole lot happened this month. Do we have the rundown for the show?
1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
Okay, so today, folks, we're going to be covering the cabinet retreat. Of course, there was a retreat that was held on Monday, ended yesterday, right? Or is the retreat still taking place, Kev? Or did it end already?
The retreat ended.
Okay, and we'll be talking about that. Also, what also been trending, as everybody knows, is the U.S. Embassy statement. The outgoing Ambassador McCarthy completed his final tour. The final count is Bapolu, and he had a lot to say after he completed his tour. He was a hands-on ambassador, as everybody knows, and he visited all 15 counties throughout his tenure as ambassador to Liberia. So we'll be covering that. And also we have breaking news that the government just responded to the ambassador's statement, and that will be interesting to see what the government said. And then next we'll be talking about JMB and ABC, VP Peaks, Joseph Neiman Boyka, Alexander Cummings, VP Peaks. And also we need update on the BVR. Tomalin, you in Liberia, maybe you can give us some update on how the voter registration process is going in Liberia in the remaining 9 counties. And of course, at the end, we will have our closing argument on behalf of the people. So it's going to be an exciting day. Is the guest already here? Is our guest here?
Hey, log in already.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well, Dr. Peabody.
Go ahead, Jackie. Everybody on.
Okay, so we have our guest panelist, Varney Saki, who is on. The General, Mr. Kishan. And also we have our guest for the day, who is Mr. Sam Jackson, who's also going to be joining us. How are you doing, Mr. Saki and Mr. Kishan, the General?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Happy to see you guys.
I'm doing
Welcome.
good. Happy to see you guys. Happy to be on the show for the first time. Great interaction. Thank you.
Welcome to the closing argument. To our guest, Mr. Sam Jackson. How are you doing? A writer, an economist. Mr. Sam Jackson, we need to know all the things that you do, because I know you're a writer, you're an economist, you've been actively involved in this government, several other governments. I mean, you're a busy guy. When are you going to retire, Mr. Jackson? You are so very busy. And welcome to the closing argument. You're on mute. You're on mute, Mr. Jackson.
I said, I think you should post that question to Mr. Boyka and also Mr. Cummings, because Cummings, I'm only like 2 or 3 years older than he is, and Boyka has me about 10 years.
So you started your shot already?
So I mean, if you think a young, energetic man like me, I don't have any mechanical parts in my body, and you think I'm going to be retiring, you're wrong.
Yeah, it's good to see that you've been so very active. But welcome again to the show. And we already did our opening statement. I will let you our guest, Mr. Jackson, gave your opening statement, and then we let Mr. Kishan and Mr. Saki go ahead, and then we'll
Well, thank
start.
you very much, Tourmaline, my sister Jackie, my brother Kev, Mr. Peabody, the general, Mr. Keshan, and Mr. Saki. I'm very happy to be here. I'm in the city of Monrovia. I'm right in the middle of probably the most important and one of the most important cosmopolitan cities in West Africa. I'm right about 2 blocks from Tubman Boulevard. The expansion of Tubman Boulevard is magnificent. It's beginning to look like Rodeo Drive with upmarket department stores like Zara. We have Oporto's. We have the Boulevard Palace Hotel. We have all of these things. I can order my food here. Sometimes I don't even have the Coke. We have something similar to Uber Eats, and I don't have a car, so I use like an Uber-like thing. And I'm looking at expansion of the city of Monrovia as far west as Fall River and as far east as Disco Hill. And the Monrovia Metropolitan is really, really,
Wow.
a brand new master's in urban development and urban economics, and I'm watching this phenomenal growth. But it's also happening around the country. If you look at Ganta, Ganta is it's the second largest commercial city in this country, and we see all of these major achievements coming, and I'm very, very proud of what is going on. And that is the reason why I am so excited to center this ball for the 2023 presidential election, so we can kick it off and see what's going on. So I'm very happy. We all just got to be very civil, because there is a day after October 10, and we all have to live together to fix this country. So let's get it on. I'm looking forward to a spirited conversation and a spirited debate. Thank you so much.
That's right. And I love that opening. You said after October 10, we all have to live together. And so, Mr. Jackson, is that the part where they call Miami? Is that where you are? Because,
well, Miami is a metaphor for the burgeoning metropolis that is emanating from the very efficient administration of George Manuel Weah and the city government. We've seen, like, the Monrovia I grew up in the olden days was only like 2 square miles. It was limited to Randall Street, Benson Street, right around the city of Monrovia. But now, the Monrovia metropolitan area, which you guys can call Miami, you can use any metaphor, it is a thriving metropolis, okay? I'm not saying Monrovia is not a paradise, a vault of mass poverty, but I'm saying that Monrovia is really showing a potential unlike this. That reminds me of Accra 30 years ago when during the war we went to Accra. When we're looking at driving from Accra, and I don't know if you remember Henry Peabody going toward MacArthur Hills and Bujumbura, right? And now you see all the expansion in Accra as far as Adenta and so forth. That's the same things happening. I was driving from RIA on Sunday afternoon, and I was looking at both sides. I was looking at both sides of the RIA highway, and I'm seeing all of these really beautiful homes going on, man. And and I come to the city of Monrovia, I see the hotels, I see the eateries, I see Zara, I see City Villas, I see Woodin, I see Oporto's, I see Boulevard Palace Hotel, then the Liberian businesses like Fusion and Terracotta. I'm very excited to have lived long enough to see the massive transformation in the city of Monrovia. I'm very, very pleased to be part of this growth.
Massive transformation. Mr. Kishan, welcome again, and please do your opening statement, and then we'll go to Mr. Saki.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks to everyone. And this is Munel Kishen, and I'm actually on here today to sell a Liberian, an individual called Alex Cummings. It's not about me today. And I'm happy that some people are still living in denial, which is a good thing. But one thing I would say that Liberians will vote for jobs. Liberians will vote for security. So you can paint the entire street red, white, and blue. It's lit. The Liberian people have discovered and they know the truth. And this time around, they will vote right and I'm just waiting for that conversation. I know in politics there's no permanent enemies. Like Samuel Jackson said, after October 10, we will still sit at the table. So I'm very careful. I don't take things personal. I put the friendship aside and I express myself. And everybody know where I stand. And I believe that it will be a one-round election, and we will win this election. Save all my tip, and you understand what I'm talking about. But I know the next president of Liberia is Alex Cummings.
Alexander Cummings. Okay. Well, thank you and welcome again. Mr. Varney Saki, how are you today? Please go ahead and do your intro. And once again, welcome to the closing argument.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Again, as you stated, right, my name is Varney Saki. I want to say hi to my dear brother Tamalin George, my own brother Kev Hassan, my own brother Dr. Peabody, no stranger. I'm the regular everyday politician. I don't read theories. I don't read political science, Western political science books. I don't read Western economics. I deal with the everyday people in the swamp. I deal with the regular people in the swamp. And I talk raw politics based on the condition of our people. So tonight, I come here to speak directly to my people and ask series of questions that focus on people and not some kind of Western, driven political science theory or economic theory. I'm going to look at the real facts on the ground. I want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I'm a son of the downtrodden class. I stayed with the citizen for 15 years. I supported and brought George. We have the power based on the basis of faith. Again, the faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And I see today that where we are today, the closing argument will be, are you better off today than where you were before we took office in 2018? That's the question. We can spin, we can play politics, we can play propaganda, but my auntie in the swamp, my uncle in the village, he or she knows what he or she is going through. So again, as I said that, I want to discuss real issue. Don't come here telling me about the Western theory and the Western political science. I want all to discuss my uncle, my nephew, my sister, my brother. I want to discuss how our communities, our countries is affected with drugs. I want to discuss how lack of economic opportunities to lift our people out of poverty. I'm a son of the downtrodden class. I live in Margibi. I went to school in Kakata. I slept in a zinc hut. Erosion used to make a way through my zinc hut during the night. I built a bench in my room to sleep on. So I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to the real people who are affected. I don't want to talk to people who tell me they enjoying. I listen to my own uncle, Sam Jackson. You don't expect Sam Jackson to speak for somebody in my village. You don't expect Sam Jackson who rubbing shoulder with the big boys and the big guys in government to talk for my auntie. So I'm your regular politician. I'm the guy from Douala. I'm the guy from Soniwe. Now talk about our condition and discuss Liberia and ask, are we better off today?
Are we better off today?
I hope people listening.
Are we better off today? Well, Mr. Sam Jackson is saying that's a definite yes. So we're going to go ahead and start our discussions. Right now, what is trending is the ambassador's statement. We see that the government just released its response. Mr. Jackson, you say everything is glorious and very good and everything is okay in Liberia. So did you get a chance to read the ambassador's statement, the government's response to the ambassador's statement?
But thank you very much. And I spoke English. I didn't speak any foreign language. In literature, there's something called Pollyanna, and that Pollyanna is of somebody who sees no evil, does no evil, and to paint this paradise, rosy, milk and honey picture. If that's the impression you got, my brother Saki, you are very, very wrong. I'm not a Pollyanna. I've been in this business for 48 years. I'm an economist. I know about mass poverty. I know about the suffering of the people in this country. But this suffering didn't start 5 years ago. I know about the deep divisions in this country between the rich and the poor. I know about people living in slum communities. I'm one of those who was born in a slum community. But through picking myself up my own bootstrap, I was able to rise. And the educational opportunities that we have today in Liberia, where for the first time in the history of this country, we have universal access to education. where public tertiary education is free. We have a situation today where we're looking at the three strands of development: the economic, social, and the environment. There has never been a time where there hasn't been slums in the city of Monrovia. 70% of the people in this city live in slums. It's been that way for generations. So you cannot come here today to play politics out of the poverty of the people of this country. Okay? If you want to talk about what is being done based upon the resources that are available, I will tell you unequivocally, this is not 2006 to 2017 when $16 billion of official development assistance came to Liberia. When you had on mail 17,000 troops and all of the ancillary support of the international system driving aggregate demand and giving you a bubble. After 2017, when the international system left, this country crashed, and you saw the dramatic decline. In 2018, 2019, you saw the illiquidity within the banking system. You saw high inflation. But in 2022, you see macroeconomic stability. And macroeconomic stability is reflected in what? Exchange rate stability. Inflation, which was 35, 40%, is now in single digit. Okay.
So, Mr. Jackson.
Let me finish. George Weah or nobody can wave a magic wand to bring about development that have been neglected for 170 plus years. But I can tell you, with the proportion of resources available to this government and the own source revenue that is being used through domestic resource mobilization, Liberians have a better potential today. And quote, my Meridian, they're still suffering in Douala. My Meridian, some of them still suffering in real estate. But what is different today is that we have equal access to the opportunities so that the Yakbawuro and the Dennis and the Cooper have the same chances of rising like you did, like I did, right? So this is not any kind of utopia.
10 more seconds, Mr. Jackson.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jackson. Okay, for the sake of time, we started a little bit late, and I apologize to the viewers and to our guests and our guest panelists. So we'll give everybody about 90 seconds to respond so that we can make sure we cover everything that we need to cover today and maximize the time. So I will start with a quote from the ambassador, and then we'll pick up from there. Mr. Kishan, you can pick up from me, and then Dr. Peabody, Kev, Tomalin, and then we go to Mr. Saki, and then we come back to Mr. Jackson. So the ambassador said, as for me, should the U.S. Congress ask how the elite in Monrovia are treating destitute citizens in the Leeward counties, my honest response would have to be, those citizens are treated with a neglect that borders on contempt. Is this the best that Liberia can do? Is this the best that Liberia can do? So I will go with you, Mr. Kishan. Please speak up from there.
Yeah, and good that you brought that code up because I think I was going to talk about it. And when he asked, is that the best we have? It is a shame for us as a nation that we think popularity is leadership. That's a mistake we continue to make in Liberia. And I see people playing blind ass to it and going back to the same thing. Whenever we give these guys position, they come back and treat us like a slave. Corruption is our number one problem in Liberia. And it is clear. The white man telling us that this government is bad. This government doing everything to satisfy the president and his close associates and forget about the people that was under the rain and sun that cast that ballot for him. Now it's all about him. Imagine going on a trip. You talk about no money or whatsoever. This government came broke, but we got a president who spent 49 days out of the country $2,000 a day on a private jet. That money could be used for something. This president used government resources on his personal business. That money could be used for the citizen, for schools and for hospital. But today, we see what's going on. The American, I don't consider them as partners. They are our helper, because a partnership, you must do a little bit and someone help you. Imagine the people that will call upon, telling us that this government is done and we cannot indirectly elect this government back to power, or else we'll be committing a political suicide. So you can pave the road or do whatsoever. But the people, there is no security, there is no job. Everything they promised us was lies. 2 million jobs, nothing. The Bali Island, nothing. Hospital, nothing. Schools, nothing. They pretending we have free education, but there is no free education. They say, oh, tuition free, but the students not going to class. It's all about the president. President Weah is our problem. We voted for President Weah. We never voted for Samuel Jackson, or we never voted for Samuel Twer. It's President Weah who called the shots. He appointed them. So if he cannot take action, he can't take responsibility, we must remove it at the ballot box, and they will do it. So any song they sing is only for Weah Shen. They will not buy no new voters. They can spend the last money, the Liberian people, the silent voters. Silent voters never go to a ruling party. They will remove President Weah come 2010. But with the letter is clear, our people should understand that this government is finished. They are the most corrupt government ever in our history.
Wow. Woo, Dr. Peabody.
You know, I like to
The
hear
general
funny.
is saying that he's saying that this government is the most corrupt government in society. And if the Liberian people dare re-elect this government, it's going to be a political suicide. Wow. Most corrupt. What is your response to that?
You know,
And
I like to hear funny response. Then maybe I can come in since they are.
Okay, no problem. Varney, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Jagoni. As I stated earlier, the reason I accepted the invitation to come here is to speak to Mamusu Mahawa, because I'm son of Mamusu, who is going to bed tonight after eating 12 a.m. with 3 children. And while they were eating, she and the children were eating, they were worrying about how they will start setting tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock to find something to cook again at 11 a.m. I didn't come here to intellectualize the economy. I didn't come here to speak Western theory and Western political science. Let's be honest here. Kev, my brother Kev Hassan said the government responded. Is the government honest to respond to what the UN ambassador said? And Kev said they presented evidence. Evidence against what? Look, let me say it to you. To understand Liberia and understand the solution to solve our problem, you don't have to go to Harvard School or economy. You don't have to go to London School of Economy. You have to live in Liberia. Look at the behavior of people who are entrusted with state power. Have honest conversation with them on a daily basis. Look, one of the mistakes that we continue to make, we think to find the solutions for Liberia is to go to university in London or United States. You don't need it. You need to live in Liberia and understand people, their mindset, their behavior, their thinking. Now you're talking about, you don't have to go far, Jagolin and Tamalin, Kev Hassan, and the rest of the folks. We all can sit in our luxury in America and pretend that we don't go for visit. We go for visit every time, 2-3 times in a year. We see our people. Look, I come here tonight now to say the suffering that is in Liberia was brought on Liberia by Joshua. I'm not stupid to think that way. So Samuel Jackson, this is one of the reasons why I decided to break away and find myself as independent. I did not come to power. I did not elect Joshua to use the past as scapegoat for incompetency and lack of solution. That was my reason I opposed my anti-Eddie Johnson Sirleaf for 12 years, to find the past as scapegoat for my failure. Look at the budget, Tamale. The U.S. ambassador is telling you about the elite. You don't have to even go far. Look at the budget. How much is spent just to take care of the government? How much is spent for the people? Look, I may not be at the level of Samuel Jackson, but I understand the country I'm discussing more than Samuel Jackson. Because when Samuel Jackson was in London, I was in Monrovia. or in Douala, or in West Point. Don't come here lecture me about Ture. Look at the budget. How much in there for the people and how much in there for the country?
2 seconds.
The U.S. ambassador, nobody should be brave. I'm disappointed that the government even decided to respond to evidence and facts presented. We know what happened in the budget. I've been around for too long. I interact with all these folks. Now when I went back in 2020 and interacted with people in the government, I called folks and said, look, I have to break away. I broke away from my entity for 12 years, fought for somebody who I believe come from my generation, understand the struggle, and together we could make tough decisions, national sacrifices, putting the interest of the country first, building an economy that creates jobs for our people. So through the economies, the people can get jobs, pay taxes, and the government can use. Let me say this. I may not be at the level of Samuel Jackson, but one thing you agree with me, infrastructure development and byproduct economic development. When the people's lives are not doing better, Samuel Jackson, case your bull road bye-bye, case your skyscraper bye-bye. The people must earn income. The only reason Vonnie Saki can tell his daughter, give him a car key in America, and she said, Daddy, which one of the cars? Because I got a job. I'm asking people today, Samuel Jackson, tell me in the absence of jobs, how can people's lives get better? Not this. How can people's lives get better in the absence of jobs? You're talking about roads. You're talking about the expansion of the city. Show me how can the lives of the people get better in the absence of jobs. That's all I want for Samuel Jackson tonight.
All right. Well, you heard that, Mr. Jackson. Peabody, Dr. Peabody, he's talking about the economic empowerment of the people. That's his response. So you got it. So what do you have to say, Doctor? Well, unless Dr. Peabody uses his time to you, it's up to Dr. Peabody.
I give you 1 minute of my time. 1 minute.
Well, no,
1 minute.
Go ahead, respond. Then I will respond. I will respond at the appropriate time. So take your time, and I'll respond. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. What I've seen here. When you talk about elite, I did not know Liberia had elite classes. But especially with all that been going on. But the ambassador, like I said on Monday, there are warning signs that are here. This is not the first, the second, or third time that the U.S. government had issued search on the Liberian government. I'm glad the Liberian government came up with a response today, because in the past they had just been dumb about it. They have not said anything. But this is a concern. 5 months into election, you have a diplomat, America, who continuously supporter, like our strongest supporter, coming up and saying these things, talking about the elites, talking about corruption. The corruption, we know it's been there for a while. It's been there. We see people have gone free a lot of time in that country. They have not been persecuted. There are a lot of others that have been done. There are a lot of people that have been indicted, and there's no other taking place in Liberia. So corruption is something that's been around for a while. Let me be honest here. It's something that from every government that we have had in Liberia, corruption has been around. But the ability of this leadership, no other government received warning signs like from the U.S. government, like this government. I mean, they have been very vocal in pointing it out when it comes to corruption. I mean, you see in Monrovia, you go to Monrovia, you see life. You go out of Monrovia, there is no life. I said it. And I know it because I travel in the living breath. I travel to some of the most difficult villages in Liberia. I've seen people don't have water, common water to drink, and all of that. But the fact is, there's just too many warning signs that the government is overlooking on this government.
Too many warning signs. Well, do you agree, Tomalin, and then Kev can come in, and then Mr. Jackson?
Well, one good thing is that I'm happy I'm in Liberia personally, and I visited Margibi, Bong, Nima, and Monserratos. And what the ambassador's statement said, I witnessed it firsthand. We did a tour of hospitals and clinics in Margibi, and it was just heartbreaking. Uh, you will find a particular health post, 32 employees, only 7 are on the payroll. The rest are volunteers. You you will find you go there, you see no medication, nothing of the kind. I went to a health post in Magibi. We saw just as we arrived, a 29-year-old mother just gave birth. So I asked her, I said, "How are you carrying the baby home?" She said, "I'm gonna ride a motorbike." Then the hospital authority said, "We have an ambulance here, been parked for months, and no fuel, no spare parts." But you have a minister of health who, as I was visiting my land yesterday, my property. It's not far from where I'm building my house. When I was going there, she have a brand new clinic, her Jala Hospital, brand new facility she just built. The people asking her when she's gonna open it. A minister of health, and I can bet you, I mean, the condition of her clinic or hospital, whatever the case, is far better than the one the government running. When Nima, another hospital that I think Senator Kuhn, I think he built a hospital and turned it over to the government of Liberia. But see that place right now, it's gone down, but it's still capturing the budget. So my question is, with all of these challenges, as the ambassador said in his statement, I want Mr. Jackson, you are saying that the government's making they are challenging the ambassador's statement. But all he said that money appropriated in the national budget is not reaching to these facilities. So how can you really justify his accusation against the Liberian government, especially the lawmakers, and what we're seeing on the ground in reality, that these places are dilapidated, they don't have no drugs, no medicine, no ambulance, nothing. For instance, Kakata, CS Training Hospital, the only referral hospital in Kakata, it got burned. And I was told when I went there, so the president visited it and promised they're going to fix it. But it's still the same thing, got burned. It's still the same way. So Jackson can just please try to justify the ambassador comments and in defending what the government is saying.
Mr. Jackson, I will let you come in, but everybody has spoken. I will let Kev go, but I want you to think about it, about this while Kev is speaking, because you are an economist. The government increased its budget right now. I think it's $782 million. How do you justify a $782 million when almost everybody on this panel here is talking in reference to the ambassador's statement? Of course, Kev will have something different to say, and you will have something different to say. But as an economist, I want you to be thinking about that. How do you justify that revenue purse when there are these challenges that are going on? One of the viewers said, "Oh my God!" Already stated. Oh no, what did she say? She said she just came back from Liberia, from visiting Liberia, and everything that you're saying is like a dream, because she certainly did not see that in Liberia. Her name is Melvina Wallace. So I'll let Kev go ahead while you think about that. Kev?
Yeah, let me say again, hi to everybody. You see, I don't know if people from the opposition bloc, I don't know, Sam Jackson, I don't know if they think the Liberian people stupid. I don't know why they always think the Liberian people stupid. That when they say the government, automatically they say they feel like it's the executive branch. That's the executive branch. So as soon as you see the government, you get money, but the executive branch. The running mate, the potential running mate, the potential prime minister of the Unity Party, Prince Johnson, announced yesterday that Jeremiah Kuhn, the prime minister of the Unity Party, announced Jeremiah Kuhn Who is Jeremiah Kuhn? Senator from Nimba County. Did Jeremiah Kuhn sign up to that budget? Mr. Jackson, help me. Yeah, he signed up to that budget? How can you come and then tell the Liberian people that, okay, yeah, Jeremiah Kuhn, JMB, we will fix, the ambassador said this, but you sign up to that budget. You do have oversight power. You don't do nothing. You don't do your job. Moneyball or Chairman Nathan, sign up to that budget. The senators, them own that budget. That's their baby. They tell the Liberian people it's a good budget. Don't they turn around when the ambassador talk about this, the legislators, they act like it's not them. Then Friday they will be coming up talking about it. But you sign up to that budget. They talk about the elites. You are the elites they're talking about. The ambassador was talking about that make millions. Millions. Jeremiah Kuhn is a rich man. Where he get money from? Or maybe Costa can tell us. He said that the other day. Well, he's a rich man. His hospital that Tommy said he gave to the government, the hospital breaking down. Why he's not standing up in the Senate? Why? Why was Jeremiah Kuhn with that hospital breaking down? Then the surrogate do have the audacity to come here and come lecture us. You lecture a government who built more hospital than JMB. State of the hospital. You want lecture a government that build hospital, that improve healthcare? You want lecture a government that brought the first dialysis in post-war? You want lecture a government that got oxygen plant in Bomi and Monserrato? Do you want to lecture? Do you want to go there? Shame on the opposition to come on that. You want to lecture us? Let's talk. Let's talk.
5 more seconds, Kev.
No.
But Kev, just out of curiosity, and then Mr. Jackson will come in. I'm wondering why you keep mentioning Senator Kuhn. Actually, the budget comes out of the lower house, and the head of the Ways and Means Committee is Thomas Fala. He's the one who is actually responsible for that budget. They prepare the budget comes over, they look at it, they make changes to it before it goes to the Senate. And the person in charge of that is Thomas Fala. He is what? He's a citizen. So I'm confused as to why you bring in Senator Kuhn in, and why are you singling him out?
You tell me Senator Kuhn cannot back away from signing the budget?
And there are 30 senators. You got some of the 3 representatives.
Senator Kuhn can be on record and say, I'm not signing.
You got
this,
it,
right?
the Speaker of the House,
I'm asking you, Jackie.
the Deputy Speaker, and you got Thomas Fala, who forwards the budget to the Senate.
Oh, okay. Yes, but Senator Kuhn can back away and say, I'm not signing this budget.
They're responsible for the budget. It comes from them,
Senator Kuhn,
not the Senate.
Senator Kuhn
All right, so
back away, right? No, let's agree. He forced to sign it. No, no, he's not forced to sign it.
So help me understand why.
Because Senator Kuhn has oversight power.
Of what?
That if his clinic that he turned over to the government is being going down, he can say something. Not now, because they gave you power, you want to say something.
No, it's no longer his clinic.
Oh,
it's the
no,
government. Okay, Mr. Jackson, go ahead.
Okay, so let's take out the fantasy, let's take out the myth, let's take out the anecdotal stuff, and let's deal with the reality. And I'm very surprised Jackie and other members of the panel didn't know that Senator Combs just did not become Senator Combs. He was in the House of Representatives for many, many years. He's only been elected senator, and he was on Ways and Means, and he was part of that process.
I'm aware of that.
If
He
you
was
were
a
aware,
co-chair, but he's no longer.
you will not be. You're acting like. Look, let me tell you. Tonight, this political shining
Mr.
light.
Jackson, it's been 2 years since he left the lower house.
Chance to talk. You're not giving me a chance to talk. You're not giving me a chance to talk. You talk. I sat down.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this political shining light, which is represented, is encapsulated in Jeremiah Coon. We will use our clause and prove that this is not a shining light, but it is fraught with a lot of inadequacies. We will match Senator Coon's record against VP Joy Howard Taylor. We will match his credentials. We will match his history in the legislature. We will look at the ticket microscopically to determine whether that ticket can gain instant acceptability from the international system. So this shiny thing that you're doing, you give us another shiny light, Dylan, that turned out to be Chinese light. Now you're bringing another shiny light again, but on closer scrutiny, all you bringing is a man who has been a puppet to the master puppeteer Prince Johnson for the last all of his time in the Senate. I don't know which bill he's ever introduced to improve the lives of the people. I don't know what he did in terms of education. I don't know what in terms he calls himself a businessman, but I don't see what he's done to support small and medium enterprise development. I don't see none of that. But let's get back to the reality of what you said Ambassador said. What the Ambassador said was his truth as he saw it, right? And I'm not going to argue with the U.S. Ambassador. Let me finish.
Okay.
You're not giving me a chance. The U.S. Ambassador saw the truth as he saw it. But let me just give you some figures. Let me get some facts about disbursements, right? On the fiscal year 2022, okay, 7.2 million United States dollars was disbursed for more than 70 hospitals, clinics, health centers. The amount represents operation activities and excludes salaries of employees, rent, drugs, and vaccines, which are provided by the central government through the national budget. This amount also includes 4.9 million United States dollars, representing 175 USD checks cash out of the GOL consolidated budget. So the ambassador saw some truths to the places he went. But see, let's look at the outcome, not just in terms of money spent, but the outcome. Maternal mentality. In 2013, under the JMB administration, 1,023 women per 100,000 died in childbirth, with 17 billion of ODA funding to the JMB government. But only 770 women are dying in childbirth today. You look at the life expectancy in 2017 versus the life expectancy in 2022 last year, according to the Human Development Report. 64 years. That is the highest life expectancy in the Mana River Union. Mr. Wahini from Minnesota, we say now there, we're talking about Mount they living long now. Mount they didn't die plenty with COVID, like almost 6,000 people died with COVID. The incident management team, the case fatality ratio are one of the lowest in the world. Why can't you give us that? We're doing it with own source revenue. Official development assistance, the money that the white border gave us as a percentage of our output, our GDP. contracted by more than 30%. But yet, we were able to what? Maintain a semblance of health. Look at hospitals. Look at Emory Hospital. Look at JFK. Okay, under your administration, that was just for killing. There were no dialysis center. Look at it today. Then you want to tell me that Mr. Cummings, who his best thing, what he been doing, he left to sell sugar water, will come now with all the diabetics that were created, okay, will come and tell us and lecture us about health when you spend your entire career selling sugar water? No offense to him, he's a very good man. But General, don't come lecture us who doing the real work for the Liberian people about what y'all can do. Okay? It's a mirage. And that you're shining order that you're presenting, we're not taking it. It will not happen. So let go forward.
Let go, General. Let's give the General a chance. General, you can comment.
Okay. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you very much. I enjoy the CDC and the UP people. I just said it 1 hour ago. My Liberian brothers and sisters, I will be honest, I'm not here to satisfy nobody. The CDC-led government and the Unity Party, we should make sure they do not get around this place. I can see them fighting. This is what's going to happen during the election. The only thing Samuel Jackson just said, that Mr. Cummings sold sugar water. Mr. Cummings was the same man who told the Liberian Post, said, in my first 3 years, I will increase the budget to $1 billion. They cost it up, and CDC ran with it and took it to $782 million without nothing thinking about. Let's go to your wonderful budget. I heard my brother Kev Hassan. Liberia is a unitary state. The executive writes the budget. They send it over to the House. They got a committee that look at the budget. When they pass the budget, they give it back to the executive. The executive controls the money. Now you say we're complaining about George Weah. In the legislators, you got majority to pass or to make a law. At the Supreme Court, you need majority before you can vote. In the executive, is one man. The president is the one who can fire you if you just even have a bad dream about you. The president is the one who makes the appointment of all directors in public corporations, assistant ministers appointed by the president. So we expect the president to monitor them. Mr. Jackson, you are a very good economist, but for you to work, you need a very good manager. You know why? You can never be a manager because, or the fact of the matter is that you know your job, but not because you know your job, you could be a good finance minister. No, you need a real public administrator, somebody who will control you, and you just a technocrat. But what I want to say here, this is what's going to happen during the election. UP was there for 12 years. CDC came and took the playbook from UP, and they overdoing it. We all know there was corruption in Liberia from 1847, but a good leader will not complain when you take over a country. Do what you're supposed to do because government is continuing. Don't tell me, hey, Ellie Johnson stole the money. I'm going to say I will steal my own. No. A good leader do not complain. Move forward. You saw the woman with 15 children. You say you want the woman. You said that you begged the woman, You married a woman. Then you come and tell the woman about her 15 children. You saw the problem in Liberia. 12-year opposition. George Weah, that's my friend too. I know him than anybody on this planet. I know him like my ABC. 12 years opposition. You don't know that when you're sitting on the bench and the game is on, when the coach say warm up, you're supposed to have eyes to see. Then you won't blame the past government for your failure, for eating the money, driving, flying private jets, lying to the people. Corruption is the one that clouded this government. And when you want achievement, you got to leave office before you know you did something good. But you can't get in office the first day that you say you're the world best president. You know that, Samuel Jackson. You were with these people. I saw you what President Doe was standing a young man. I can still remember I saw that picture. You were part of this whole thing here. I will give it to you. But the fact of the matter, this government is bad. And I don't expect if Mr. Cummings president to blame President Weah. He will do what he's supposed to do, and we will audit him. And when that order go to the next government, fine. But we're not going to be sitting and wasting on President Weah doing this. But the fact of the matter, CDC and UP, there's nothing different between them. We need change. And the change is EPP. Mr. Cummings is the change. The only thing you tell me about Mr. Cummings, he worked with sugar water. He was shot. This man at this man that. But there's nothing you got to talk about Ellis Cummings. Ellis Cummings is a manager, and he's the best Twitter president. He's an economist like any other person. He knows how to create jobs, and he knows how to make the money work. He knows how to create that job. So let me tell you before I close. He said infrastructure. Electricity is the number one for any country if you want to survive. Electricity price. Then you got good drinking water to stop the typhoid. Then internet. Then you can create jobs. Then we go into agriculture, where the government prepared to spend 10% of the national budget instead of putting 0.4%. Then we talk about education before going to healthcare. And this man said, I will have a government of inclusion. That means whether you Mandingo, you Pella, you are Liberian, he do not look at counties. He look at you as a Liberian. So even the seditionists who are civil servant will work. He's not coming there to change people. He's a manager. Manager don't take over and just start sweeping everybody. Or no, that's what makes him different, and his record is clean. So Ellis Cummings will win this election. You can take it up, you come down, but I will tell you by June, July, you yourself will get to know that he's the next president.
Wow. He said Alex will win this election. Mr. Saki,
you will win this election.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sorry. Again, I got so many calls coming in. I received 10 calls, and they're all calling to find out when I send in the money to same way. That's the kind of economy we got. We can't have no peace in America because of the high economy. But I would say, let me say this. I listened to my uncle Sam Jackson reading a report and using it as evidence for disbursement. Sam Jackson, my uncle, I've been around for too long. When you were studying in London, I was studying in Solin, in Douala, in Nuclear Town, in Point 4. If you want to evaluate our system of governance based on report, Mr. Jackson, they will always come up with flying color. I'm not a regular guy you interact with, come to discussing Liberia, because you know what? I understand the real issue affecting the country. I don't read books. I go to the people. If St. Jackson tells me that the government sent $10,000 to Phoebe, I don't read a report from the government. I go to Phoebe to find out what $10,000 actually went to Phoebe. I said that in one of my podcasts. No audit going to expose the CDC government for corruption. If the auditors going to deal with papers, you have to assess what they are saying. If the people tell you, if CDC government tell you to build hospital for $10 million, go and appraise a $10 million project and see what are really worth $10 million project. If you want to look at report, no, these guys will give you a report that you will have a red carpet ceremony for them. Look, the issue affecting Liberia, the solution, we need practical solution, not theory. The moment we continue to follow people like Samuel Jackson reading reports from the government, respond to U.S. ambassador, then you mix it. Look, it's embarrassing that the government should even think about responding to what the United States ambassador said. Because what the man presented, unchallengeable facts, evidence. You go to any hospital. I went to Mount Gilead in 2020, I had a conversation, and I said, and I challenged Liberians, that based on the definition and the standard of a hospital, we do not have a single hospital in Liberia. Samuel Jackson just talked about the Emory Hospital. Samuel Jackson, man, hey, my uncle, that generation I will save Liberia have to be an honest generation. By the definition and standard of a hospital, do you have one in Liberia? Peabody, you go there. Jefferson, you went there. Someone you there. You live in America. Why it takes for us to be honest for the sake of our country? Why will we walk away from partisanship, friendship, and put the interest of the country first? To call a place a hospital, there are things that must be available. 1, the structure. 2, the equipment, the medical equipment. 3, the medication. 4, qualified healthcare provider to provide quality healthcare services. Show me anywhere in the Republic of Liberia that had those 40s. Samuel Jackson is bluffing with structure. After living in America, you know what hospital is. That's very disappointing. Just because you build a structure and put on a hospital, does that automatically turn it into hospital? Let me say this today. I'm Vonnie Lee Rasaki, the nephew of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who opposed C and Joseph Boakai jointly for 12 years aggressively. Why am I supporting Joseph Boakai today? Because I know Joseph Boakai and I know my auntie. I know when I think about Joseph Boakai and my auntie, I think about Tuckman and Toba. I think about Tuckman and Toba. So to you who continue to ask why Joseph Boakai did for 12 years, I want to put a question to Mr. Jackson and Mr. Kevasa. What did you expect Joseph Boakai to do that he didn't do that Joe Howard Taylor, the current vice president, is doing today? Look, let's be serious here. Not because you think you want to use the vice president position as scapegoat and you're turning it into a very powerful position. Let them Hassan, let Mr. Jackson tell me today, which country on earth has a very powerful vice president? Look, my Wata, my Kema, my Musu, I'm your son. I will not read book to you. You brought me up. I live with you. I know what you're going through. I'm not saying there was no poverty before Joshua came, but they use the past as an escape route for your failure and say you want to say, oh, there was poverty, there was this. And for Mr. Jackson, who enjoyed the benefit of what hospital brings, to sit in Liberia or anywhere and tell me, Emory Hospital, forgetting to agree that that's a structure. That's not a hospital. But let me say to all of the people watching in Liberia,
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
in the opposition community, Jackie, Tomolin, Kevasan. Look, the opposition has so many great options to save our country. The one political question that remains is, who has everything to rescue the ship from sinking? The reason I selected Joseph Boakai because he comes with everything. You must fight win, as I told my brother Clarence Monuba yesterday. A good, brilliant young man. You smart, but you know what? You got to first win before you govern. The ship is singing. President Weah is determined to hit the
Jackie,
bottom of the ocean.
you will let a man do monologue all night?
Samuel Jackson, don't be scary. I brought the devil to time. I know.
No, man.
Don't be
What I
scared.
say? They
The
not know.
government
They
is
not
going to
know.
Mr. Jackson.
Man,
I
you're not
brought the
preacher
power.
here. Oh.
4 seconds. You got one.
My
more
man, you're not preacher here. You're not
Fine.
preacher. You know, there's another JFB church. You're not
Mr.
JFB
Jackson,
church.
I would not be afraid when you're afraid because in Bomi County, we get something to call it Bunji. When you prepare the devil and bring it in the village square to dance, you know exactly which rope to move. Look, let me say to you, the
Look.
panelists and Liberian listening,
Mr.
you
Saki,
going, yes, like, let me just conclude on this. We can sit here all night and lecture you, but you know what? You going through the real pinch. Even my auntie Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, I spoke to her last week. She going through the pinch. So let me say to you, look, Mr. Jackson and everybody, we can talk and talk. Mr. Peabody, Kevasa, Tomolin George, you know the truth. Just save and live with the truth. Liberia need to be rescued. And the only hope we got, the man with the character, the man who has everything that Liberia desperately needs to move forward, is Joseph Numa Boakai. And that's why I'm putting my life on him.
Okay.
Saki.
Okay.
Mr. Jackson, your book, Rich Land, what is it called? Rich Land, Poor Country, The Paradox of Poverty. You wrote that book. I think I got a copy from you right there at Royal Hotel. But I mean, everybody is talking, Jeff is the government, but you wrote this book, Rich Land, Poor Country. How have the lives of the Liberian people, we're not talking infrastructure, because whenever the press goes to interview individuals, market women, the wheelbarrow sellers, the farmers, the people who, the petty traders, the people who talk about microeconomics all the time. How is this government helping to make the lives of these people better? How are they doing it? Because when you interview the people, everybody is saying it is tough, it is hard. They don't see where their lives have improved over the past 5 years. So go ahead. and then we'll go to
So,
Dr.
okay,
Bade,
so,
Kev, Thomas.
okay, so it's like Alex Comey and Joe Parker, they are mullet men. They bring in special medicine to eliminate poverty from Liberia in 2024.
But
They
the
will win the
question
election.
to you was, what is this government doing? We're
Well,
not
let me finish
talking
that.
about president.
Wait, I'm prefacing. I'm talking to my water then. Okay, I'm talking to my water then. Joe Parker and Alex Comey and who want to be president, and they picking climbing money by them. They trying to tap my water then in Douala, my Jebba then in Cape Man. That they got something I think they will sprinkle on the ground in Liberia in 2024. And every place in Liberia, the rice will be growing plenty, the cow will be growing children, the chicken, they will be making plenty chicken egg, there will be a land of making honey. It has never happened in any country before. The way country works is by people lifting them upset by their own bootstrap. The Liberian government, after 2017, with the evaporation of support from the international system, began to use something we call own source revenue, domestic resource mobilization, where we've taken this budget from a little over $500 to $782 million. Mr. Comey's only economic agenda that he had, that he talked about, was to take the budget to $1 billion, and we're going to $1 billion. Uncle Joe, my own uncle, he said he was a parked car and this kind of opportunities. That's what he said. That he won't move. Then he taking Prince Johnson to be a vice president. Oh, Jeremiah Kuma forgot. Okay, he taking Prince Johnson.
Today is Wednesday. The announcement is Friday.
Wait, but let me finish.
Prince Johnson already said it.
Let me tell you now. Let me tell you. Joe Parker is about 80 years old, and I'm 70. When God gave you 10, you know that every other day that blessing. And Joe Parker is 80 years old.
Mr. Jackson, I'm sorry.
Let me finish, no, but when Mr. Saki was talking, you stop me up. I will tell you what we do. But let me just finish. Let me just lay the premise.
But there was a question asked.
Okay, but you see, I will answer the question the way I want to answer the question. I beg you, give me a chance.
Okay. 90 seconds.
Okay, so he picking the protege, the puppet of Prince Johnson. When you elect Joe Parker with Vice President Kuhn, what you're doing is you putting Prince Johnson a heartbeat from the presidency in the executive mansion. Because I can tell you that Jeremiah Kuhn and Prince Johnson will be running the country. Okay? Now let me come to answer your question now. What we have done in the last 5 years, the government of Liberia has done in the last 5 years, using its minuscule resources, its own thing. And the U.S. ambassador in that statement there said, to the credit of LRA, significant improvements have been made in domestic resource mobilization to bring the budget up. When you bring the budget up, you have an economic growth rate of 3.7%. It can manifest itself in reducing poverty in many areas like health. I told you what we've done. Maternal mortality, we reduce it. I don't know how to put it in different English. The pregnant women that were dying in childbirth, the 1,023 in 2013, now only 700. Liberian people living longer. What else people living for? And have to live long. If we living to live long, and Liberia has the higher life expectancy in the Mother River Union under George Weah, what more you want again? Okay, and then Liberia has one of the lowest murder rate. Let me finish. Y'all talk about the crime rate, Zogo all over the place. Y'all know that America has an opiate crisis. Y'all will live in America there. There's an opiate crisis. Why in the suburbs? There's a Zogofication of the suburbs in the United States. But this is a country with little resources and trying to implement a national social welfare policy to gather Zogos from the street. West Africa is awash in drugs. Y'all know that. It's being used as a transit point. Y'all know that the court, okay, through the instrumentality of the DEA and the Americans, $100 million worth of drug and $40 million. On George Weah. Okay? You all know what this president is doing to improve the lives of people. Free Wyatt. Okay? The children don't have to go be sleeping with a young girl. They don't have to be sleeping with older men, papa there, to pay the wire fee anymore. Y'all know that.
Okay,
Okay?
10 seconds, Mr.
Oh, you say what?
10 more seconds.
Then public tertiary education. Education, which is the what they call it, the common denominator, improve the lives of people. You get a free tertiary education. Then you say things that are improving the country. When you got more students in school today, and more universities and more community colleges than ever in the history of the country, then you want to tell me that we're not doing good? We are doing very well. Okay? The people of Liberia know that Joe is doing very well with the connectivity in the community roads, the economic rate of return, the mom and pop them bringing their little weather market and selling it. All the things that are improving in the country. But you want to sit down and say that Liberia, that's some kind of, what to put that, desert, everybody thirsty, everybody hungry, okay? My water, then they're selling their little kobo, they're making their little farm. Some of the children, they can't get a job, they're rather than their keke. We need to do more jobs. We need to do more jobs. But the children, they're working in the banks. There are a lot of banks that open in this country now. More branches, almost 100 branches of banks. Okay, the children, they get jobs. If you look at the children, they too, they're working in factories, like the steel factories. Metal Steel doing the expansion, all the things that are happening. Then you want to say that nothing happening in Liberia because you want to be president? For what reason? Yeah, man, I beg you, man. You stop that kind of thing, man.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jackson. I'm going to read, in all fairness, because I read a quote from the ambassador's statement, the government statement, and then Dr. Peabody, Kev Tomlin. The government said, while the government recognizes that there is always room for improvement, particularly in the disbursement of funds for essential services, the narrative as expressed by Ambassador McCarthy is inaccurate. This is what our government is saying. Pretty much that what the ambassador is saying is not correct. Dr. Peabody, Kev, and then Tomlin.
Thank you, Jackie.
And this will be our last round on this statement, and then from there we'll go to move on to the next topic.
Can I speak to what the government is saying? They said that it's not accurate, but what I can say here is that before the U.S. government come up and make such statement, they have done the investigation, they have traveled, they have met with all the stockholders, all those involved. They've met with them. And they're saying the places. I mean, let's be realistic here. You can see those places. You know, I was just in Liberia about a month now. I went to 3 counties, and I went into the jungles. I went into villages where if you are living there and fall off, you will die right away. We have heard about hospitals that don't have electricity, don't have generators. You know, we talk about the situation with the drugs that was arrested, What became of the report today? Had there been any report by the Liberian National Police? Where the report at? Where is it at? We've seen nothing. We heard of it one time, and that was the end of it. Okay. What's about the
information, sir? Point of information. There's a trial going on right now, the $100 million drugs. Are you aware of that? There's a trial going on.
Why the police have not made any?
No. No, Peabody, you can't say that. There's a trial going on.
Mr. Jackson, I give you time, like you said, Mr. Jackson, I give you your time. We have not.
No, but I'm saying I have to stop you.
What's the trial going on?
To give you information because there is a trial going on with the people that were arrested for the $100 million drug. There's an ongoing trial. So if you're not aware of that, just
What trial,
apologize.
Mr.
Let's move
Jackson?
forward.
Mr. Jackson, what trial?
There's a trial. Do you accept there's a trial?
Mr. Jackson, please.
Okay,
Please,
Mr. Jackson,
let's
thank
move
you.
on. Let's move on, Mr. Jackson.
But there's
I
a
mean, the
trial
police-
going on.
What's the report? The police have not come up to give a report.
What do you mean the police? The police got to get report. You get the trial.
Well, they had a press conference
it's
and they came
public.
up.
You can go to
And
the court and watch
who-
the trial.
If there's a trial going on, who have been indicted? Who are those indicted? What are the
So,
charges?
Go to the court. They're having a
Oh,
trial every
Mr.
day.
Jackson, come on. Mr. Jackson, come on. Secondly,
What do you mean, come on? Say, just
Secondly-
say you say you didn't know that. Oh, but the boy got trial going on. You're like,
all
bro.
right. I disagree with Mr. Jackson. Also,
Behind closed door.
oh yeah, that behind closed doors, that's true. So also, what on some of the unresolved murder issues we have in our country? Okay,
Oh no.
well, mostly it's the healthcare situation. It is true. You allocate the funds, but the people don't get it. You say $100,000 going to a hospital in Baza, $100,000 going to a place in Bomi, $100,000 you go to the places, it's like no life functioning. Baza was very clear in his report. The government did a right thing to come out and come up with their rebuttal, but I would not doubt it that a clear investigation was done. The ambassador went to the length and breadth of our country. He saw the suffering. The ambassador, it doesn't have to be the American government. You can travel anywhere in Liberia and see how people are suffering, And I'm not saying corruption is only with this government or it started from this government, but they've done nothing really to fight corruption. They have not gone the extra mile in fighting corruption. They have just played a law. If you are indicting people, if people are being punished for some of this corrupt behavior, even some of the people that are being indicted, how many others sitting down in our country right now that have not nothing have been done? They have done audit. They have recommended that people be persecuted. Nothing has happened so far. So I mean, yes, it's true that the government came up with a response. I'm glad it did that, but what man? 7 or 8 other or 9 out of those that came from the U.S. government, I will not doubt it. It's very true. Why would he want to make a story in the Liberian government?
So, Kev, Dr. Peabody is talking about the audit. Lately, we have not seen any audit reports that have been released. The government is saying that the ambassador statement is false, but we don't have audit reports. We don't have IA reports released. LACC, whatever they tried to do, that was canceled by the president, who went on radio and saying, well, I can't hold anybody responsible. So what do you have to say in response to defend the government?
There's no time the president just get up and say, I don't hold anybody responsible. That was false. That is misleading.
Was it not?
That number one. No time. The president said.
I think somebody remember that time.
No, the president never said that. Never said that. The president said, I cannot hold somebody responsible if I don't have the information on my desk. That's different. You cannot just this government.
So what we're gonna get information after the election?
This president will not rule by decree. This president will not rule by decree. He don't rule. But let's come back to the ambassador. I think the opposition in Liberia. I think that the most opposition in the entire world that sometimes don't talk about what they would do. They just run into things, you know. We look at the MCC report that the opposition always beat on the government. You feel MCC report. The government passed MCC report. You know, one of the area the government that helped the government to pass on the MCC report, health expenditure. It's right there. You open it. Health expenditure. So, and when I look at this thing, and we know that the Americans do speak on the both sides of their mouths. The MCC reports are the American reports. The Liberian government passed on health expenditure. You want to dispute that? So go and look at the MCC report. But you know, the opposition, we want to, when the ambassador talk about misleading information coming from the West, coming from people here. Oh, they say the ambassador that the devil, but now they're looking at this. But you see, when the ambassadors come out with a report, when the ambassador come out with a report, we pull out a counter to that report. And if you go into the MCC report, so dispute that. It's one of the area that the government passed. Health expenditure. This president improved health for the Liberian people than any other government post-war. This government, more hospital built under this president. Dialysis center, as we're talking about. Oxygen. Maybe Ben will kill me for this because I will keep saying it. He said it before. His father passed away because lack of oxygen. Ben Savi father passed away because lack of oxygen. Under this president, if Ben Savi father were living under this president, he will still be alive. He will still be alive. That's how this president improved in healthcare.
All right, 2 more
When the
seconds.
opposition who neglected this country want to talk, shame on the opposition. But history will judge this president for his good towards this country.
All right.
And he will win this election. And the Liberian people know.
So before Tomalin come in, yes, the Ministry of Health or the health sector, the percentage of expenditure as compared to the budget, yes, the government passed in that category. But what that actually means is that the U.S. ambassador did not say that money was not coming or being spent by the health sector. What the U.S. ambassador is asking is, if you are getting all this money, then what happens? How come it's not transferring or not visible at the different health facilities? That's the question the ambassador was saying in his statement. He did not say the health sector was not getting money.
Do you know some of the amount that coming through the USAID? They themselves, some of the money they're talking about. So when people hear about this money, the Americans themselves, the money coming to them. They have people on the ground. The Americans do have people on the ground. It's there. You know that.
Yeah, but they're referring to actual cash that was directed to the health sector.
You know that. So when the Americans say no drugs at all, what about their own people who are on the ground? Their own people still in the drugs?
The U.S. ambassador, he didn't just sit in Monrovia and just come and report. He made sure he went to these counties where he interacted with the people. And I think that instead of the response the government of Liberia is giving, what it should have been saying is that all what the ambassador said in our report is, you say, look, we're going to fix it. Instead of trying to defend it, to say we're going to fix it. Look at the national budget. I want somebody to defend it. The 5 top elected officials in our government, their budget is about $15 million. The 5 top health institutions in our country, the budget is below $10 million. I mean, how can you defend such a disparity? How can you defend it? And as I said, I've visited, I've went there, I've seen it. I went to the hospital. Even my friend Musa Willie, just from Bombing, he was in Bombing. He visited all the hospitals in Bombing. He'll come up with the same. He's gonna call it show. He'll come up with the same assessment. So look, all aspects the government will be doing. So look, we understand, we see it, we're gonna fix it. He's not saying that money was not appropriated. He said money appropriated did not reach these facilities that he's concerned. And when there, we've seen it. We've seen it. It's not like we're making this up. I just experienced it. I told all the health centers in Lower Magibi. I went there with my Firestone team. Went there. We saw it. I was in Nima. I went to the hospital again, Nima. I told the hospital there. The same thing I see. So look, you guys cannot defend it. Honestly, look at the national budget. How can you give yourself allocate 15 million and you give health institution 10 million? And I will tell you this. We got some of the best doctors in this country, but they don't have the tools to work. The stuff is not there. And I tell you, since I came, I did a complete physical already by the doctors. But again, and it tells you that they got people who can do the job. But
Tommy, let me ask you this question.
Just
Tommy,
not there.
Tommy, let me ask you this question. The guy who the Unity Party going to celebrate on Friday allocate the huge amount of money to himself. Because he part of that group of guys that do allocate those money that the ambassador talking about.
They are really important assumption, Jackie.
Jeremiah Kuhn.
You know,
they allocate
I'm not even defending about it, Kev. I'm just here to give an analysis
but we cannot we can't say
the issue is about the ambassador report on money. It's escaping indictments.
Like the money that the lawmakers like Jeremiah Kuhn put in his pocket and act like that the executive branch. Prince Johnson,
that's not an issue.
Prince Johnson,
the issue is
money
about
that Prince Johnson put in his pocket. Prince Johnson, there's nothing that Prince Johnson doing for the people.
At the end of the day, it won't say they will say that we are led government. They won't say the Prince Johnson led government. We are led government. So get it clear. So you government should be saying we'll fix it instead of saying justifying it. You should say we'll fix it.
The we are government is responsible for the executive branch. He cannot interfere. He cannot interfere.
Jackie, let me before my brother. Before Kishen can come in, if Kishen can let me respond before he come, because Kishen and I in the same community, so we're fighting for the same thing. One thing we share. We don't want
your party.
So the VP picks, but for Kishen and Saki, please, just 1 minute each, okay? No 90 seconds, please.
Okay.
Make it quick.
Let me make it quick, Kishen, because Kishen and I we are brother from this. We triplets. Let me say this, Jackie. You gave my uncle Sam Jackson 90 seconds to talk about. You gave my uncle Sam Jackson 90 seconds to talk about. I know rich country, poor people. He spent all his time talking about a ticket. Look, let me say this. I'm a diehard supporter and a consistent communicator to GMB. I talk to GMB every day. Up to today, I'm eager to know who you will select on Friday. I'm hearing Jeremiah Kuhn. Something that's making me to laugh.
Your Prime Minister, Prince Johnson, he said it.
Yeah. I'm coming. Maybe Prince Johnson know what I mean. What I'm saying here to the panelists and Liberians, imagine, I'm laughing because Sam Jackson said, we will not accept that ticket. But you know what making me to laugh? Sam Jackson supporting the CDC. If your opponent will reject a ticket, that is a strong message that ticket will beat them. Because who told you Joseph Boakai is going to select a ticket that Sam Jackson had to approve? So the fact that Sam Jackson is a friend and also already rejected a ticket, that's a good ticket. But my brother Monique, let me say to you, we are in the same boat together. The ship is sinking, my brother. Let's work together. Let's throw soft punches. Let's focus on the danger ahead. President, where is a wildfire that is burning? We got to stop it or you will destroy everything. Let me say again, my brother. Let me say again to my fellow Liberians. Listen. Yeah, 30 seconds. Let me say. So you can get Kev Hassan and Mr. Jackson all day. We can listen. I can challenge the other panelists. All we will hear is what Joseph Jingin Rao did not do. What Trouble did not do. They will never provide you real solution because they scapegoating. And I'm saying, no, we got to focus on real issue. Let's focus on, that's why I said when Samuel Jackson in London, I was in Douala. I was getting my AA degree, we were getting a PhD in London. And the relationship in London and Douala got no similarity. We'll focus on the issue today. And I don't know yet, I'm hoping on Friday to hear what Joseph Boakai. I stated to some friends, The only ticket I will not support on Friday with Joseph Boakai announced, and he is not on that ticket. But any other ticket that Joseph Boakai is on, that's the ticket. We can move to the other topic if you want, but I just want to say we can sit there and listen to scapegoating. We can listen to complain. The facts are there. Kev Hassan, only said, take that report. It's too late. You can't do anything anyway. We just almost to auto. You can't do that. So I don't want to encourage you, Kev, to say work on the way. It's just too late. All you need to do is find your exit route so that like block your rise again because we failed.
Thank you. All right. Moner Keshan. Am I saying your name right? You mute.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you're pronouncing it right. Yeah.
Okay.
And let me say this before I start. And to my brother Saki, Mr. Cummings is on record that he will support whoever goes against George Weah if he's not in the first round. Prince Johnson, who I don't like, said it a few days. Tiawon Gonglo said it, but I have never heard that from Mr. Boakai yet. I only heard it from his surrogates. Mr. Boakai have never, ever repeated it. So, until Mr. Boakai can say that, if he don't say it and we get into this campaign, it's going to be very hard. So he must say it because he was on 50-50. He refused to utter that word. Mr. Cummings is on record. So let me tell you that. And to Kev Hassan, you live in a beautiful country. Oppositions hold the ruling party, the ruling government foot to the fire. They ain't there to do nothing. The last time, remember, opposition never appointed one person in government or collected taxes or represent the country at the UN or fly the private jets. So you're trying to tell me that opposition jets do what? Why would we elect up George Weah? George Weah is the president. When they turn the budget in, they give it to him. They turn around and eat this money. Opposition do not collect taxes.
When the president appoints, who confirm?
Okay, now let me get you a little bit. Since, excuse me, let me just tell you. The president nominates. The Senate, listen to me now. Listen to me. The president nominates. The Senate confirm you, and then the president go ahead with the appointment. But guess what? When the president ready to fire you, he don't go back to the Senate. He fire you, even if you have a bad dream about you. He can fire you any day, anytime. And two, that thing that you told me, you are talking about the health, how much government spend into health care and whatsoever. You're just putting on paper. That's why the American ambassador went there to see for himself. You see this great country, America? My brother Sam Jackson, if he were in Liberia at the time he was sick, by this time we buried him already. But in America, yeah, the money they put into healthcare, we will see it. Even if I don't have money, I go to the hospital, they will treat me. They will not throw me out. But in Liberia, if you don't have that 25 US or 50 to put down in a hospital, it's for nothing. So putting the building is not just, it's just a building. You don't have doctors, you don't have medication. You pretend that you send it $10 million to Grand Gilead or $15,000 to Grand Gilead and you don't reach. But you put it on paper. So what the difference? Their government is corrupt. This government, Mr. Weah government, they don't know. You see, look, there's a reason why we elected President Weah. Yes, the past government been stealing, but they've been doing a little bit of the work. So you notice it because we used to take pay, we see bag of rice, but they're not doing nothing. But this government, they store the money, and they still can't do the work. So everybody notice them. That is how the people get to know that, if this government can tell us we should get CC camera, we should get CC camera for ourselves. You can't even protect the citizen. The president took oath to defend the Constitution. Do you know what the Constitution is? The people. It's not just that writing. The people, you can't even defend the people. You yourself can't even put CC camera in the street because there's no light. Then you expect the poor man who looking for food to put CC camera? My brother, at the time they had President Weah with no record, but with popularity, he came out with 38% of the vote. The other opposition decided to vote for him and they rejected UP and they voted for him. And I will not blame no Liberia for voting for President Weah because they believed that he was going to make the difference. But he failed the people. And tomorrow, the people will vote against him. And voting against him ain't mean that we're going to bring the people who ate Sunday morning but they did the work. We need a change. We need a change. Saki, I will tell you, the best place was the CPP. Mr. Boyka had no reason of leaving that CPP today that we're talking about. No reason. Don't say Mr. Cummings didn't go to a meeting. They sat there, they tried to prosecute this man. The last time, remember, opposition took Mr. Cummings to court. The last time, remember, opposition testified against Mr. Cummings. They tried to destroy that guy. They did everything. But when God is in something, when you ask Cummings, say, the grace of God is upon me, then Liberia, then whatsoever I do. But he stands what he believes in, and I said, if the people don't vote for Mr. Cummings, we will live with the consequences. But history will vindicate us.
Jackie, let me just get 5 seconds. Let me respond. Let me just 5 seconds.
I'll go to the next topic, though.
Yeah, 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Give you 5 seconds, 1 second, because we have to go. Because 6:30, we have to take phone calls. We got to go on to the next topic.
Okay.
1 second.
Let me just say, Mr. Kishan, I understand. If Joseph Boyka leaving the CPP was a blessing for Cummings and Boyka to contest in October, that's a blessing for the country. Two good men. Two good men.
Okay, they're good.
Thank you.
It's a good thing too.
It's a fascinating conversation, and I mean, it seems like we can go on and have part 2, part 3, part 4, and I hope that this same panelists will appear maybe sometime soon, because I mean, I'm enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, I'm enjoying them.
Exchange is fiery.
Jackson,
very good. You know, and that's why we call it the closing argument, because we have ANC, we have Unity Party, we have CDC, we have the new
all the political parties
in position.
CDC on live support, man. Don't worry.
Have everything here. And so so the viewers, please continue to hit like and click like and share the show. We are going to move on now to the VP picks. Which is very, very interesting in the next 48 hours. But this time, we would have known officially who the VP pick is for Ambassador Boyka. He's making his announcement on Broad Street at the United Party headquarters. There are lots of talks. I hear Mr. Jackson. I hear Kev Hassan, Mr. Hassan, talking about the possible VP pick. I don't know who that VP pick is, but people are already saying that it might be Mr. Kun from why.
Brother Saki knows. Saki knows the VP.
I don't know. No idea. I'm waiting for Friday.
They say, but keep it to yourself.
And on the ground, so maybe he knows something that we don't know.
Yeah, Tamale can talk about.
You're looking at Timothy's face. The man sweating.
Tamale on the top, you help us.
I think Prince Johnson, because he all over the place talking. He probably know who the VP pick is.
He optimistic. He optimistic with the people out it.
But I will say this though, you know, during the weekend, I was able to meet the last three, the last shortlist people who was on the pick.
Right.
Costa, Yombly, and Dillon. I mean, Con. I met all of them, and I know by over the weekend, I knew where the VP was heading. I knew, but and there was not my place to come and say it. I'm not a member of any of the parties. I'm an independent person, but I knew where he was heading already. I was speaking to all three of the last.
Independent, you can say it, man. Independent.
Yeah, but I'll say this. Today I was at UBA Bank, so I was walking with some people, and then I never knew UP headquarters on Broad Street across the road. So when I looked across the road, I saw UP headquarters, and here's the thing that really was shocking me, right? You know, 2005, 2011, citizens used to take their own T-shirt and make their own T-shirts. This is what's happening now. I see people are now making their own UP T-shirts.
Really? They're selling the T-shirt. They're selling the T-shirts.
That's what I observed. And they
sale.
are making their own T-shirts, and I can tell you they see the euphoria about it will be a Green Day or Green Friday, and I don't know, but that's why we here to see. I will be there. I will be there. Ben sent me. We will be there to watch the occasion. We'll see it. We'll grace the occasion to see what will happen on that day. But I can tell you, the UP camp, they are all preparing for that day. They are everywhere you go. Today I was passing by the headquarters and I looked there. Then somebody said, "You better don't go there because if you have friends at UP, don't go around here, you know." But I just laugh, I pass. But I see the momentum. They are getting ready. They are preparing for it, and they are making about whoever the VP Burger will pick on Friday. I can say that ticket might be formidable for a lot of reasons. The country, as you travel through the country, if out in a arena establishment, you should be worried. Because when I came here last year, I went back and I said that CDC were in the driver's seat. CDC were poised to be re-elected with all things was happening. But this time around, what I'm saying, if they must be re-elected, they got work to do. They got work to do because when you ask people, right? When you ask people, say, "Have you registered to vote?" They say yes. When you ask them, say, who you voting for? When somebody tells you that my vote is my secret, that's not good sign for the ruling party because apparently they don't know who you are, so they're not openly talking to you, you know. But as I went to the Magibi, to Bong, to Nimba, I just asked a question, and I tell you, if CDC, they have the work to do, they have to recalibrate, they got to redouble the efforts, and they must be re-elected because there'll be a tough election. Nobody should tell you it will be an election that you'll have a walk in the park. No, it'll be very tough. But let's see what happens. But one thing I can say before I end, what will happen on Friday, it will finally make a shift in the political landscape. Whether Cummings will benefit from it, from the decision of GMB, we don't know. We're watching. We got to know there are a lot of communication. In fact, as I speak tonight, there are a lot of meetings going on right now involving the team Cummings and another group. I will not call the name. They are having meetings, but there are a lot of things happening, and everyone want to watch what will happen on Friday. Whether the pick will benefit the CDC or benefit Cummings or benefit Taiwan or will give more momentum to GMB, we don't know. But let's see what happens on Friday. We'll tell you guys what happened on Friday.
So, Tomalin, based on what you're hearing, does it seem like it could cause a shift within the alliance of the Unity Party with those people who have been there with him? Only one person can occupy that seat. So,
yes, but
from what you hear on the ground, could it potentially cause a shift in the alliance?
Yeah, like I said, whether Costa will support the ticket or whether he will support the opposition, non-opposition bloc, we don't know. Or what? But that's one of the questions we got to find out. Maybe we'll know in the next few hours. But whether Yomri will support the ticket or will support the opposition bloc, we don't know. Whether Cummings will reach out to one of these, one of them come on my team, we don't know. Like before I came on the show, I was hearing about, based on a statement of the U.S. ambassador that impacted the legislature, somebody suggested, well, Cummings should go with a non-member of the legislature ticket. We go for a Gonglo ticket, so they can say, well, we are different. We're not part of this group. So we don't know. A lot of talking going on, but we'll see. But I can tell you there will be a shift in the political race on Friday after the announcement.
Wow. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing that. Less than 48 hours to go. In terms of the response, I feel like Rosalind Dennis, who has responded and said that the blanket statement made by the ambassador was unfair because there are members of the legislators, of the legislature who are doing very, very well, and they shouldn't be counted the assessment made by the ambassador. So that remains to see. I spoke to her briefly a few days ago. We've been trying to get her on the show. So hopefully we can get her on the show sometime soon to talk about that. So we're going to move ahead and go to Mr. Saki. I see you walking. So what is your view on Friday, the VP pick?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to get a charger. I got it already. Yeah, thank you so much. Like Tamale said, the train travel all through the 15 political subdivisions. And finally heading back to Monrovia. The city is going to be locked down. The rescue mission is set. Liberians are ready to follow JMB. But two things you should expect on Friday. One, I do not expect everybody to be happy, because even God sent his son Jesus Christ to die for us with no sin. All were not happy. 2, I do not expect Joseph Boakai to announce the name of the Holy Spirit on Friday. Those 2 things are in my mind. But what I expect, and I strongly believe in, is that when I decided to follow JMB, I was never thinking about a running mate. I did it based on JMB because I understand governance. I've been around for too long. This is the first election in my lifetime to see that even your opponent are challenging you not to select somebody. Samuel Jackson, Kev Hassan, is worried and recommending a ticket for Joseph Boakai. I never saw it in my whole lifetime. I told JMB the morning, you already set for the presidency, we should be more focused on inauguration. I never seen in my life where an opposition supporter, Samuel Jackson, is saying, we'll reject that ticket, we don't want it. But who told you JMB went in the room to discuss and decide on the ticket that Samuel Jackson, John Weah, Kev Hassan supposed to accept? He's supposed to present a ticket that's supposed to make them uncomfortable. And that's why Samuel Jackson is worried. So I'm saying to you, I understand. I said to GMB in one of my communications, look, you are presenting 5 beautiful women, and the Constitution only gave you the opportunity to select one as your wife. If you sit in that room worrying about what the 4 women will think about when you select one, you will not get married. JMB will be politically getting married on Friday. We will heal the wounds. If you honestly came into this, I have never seen an election again, I repeat, where people are more concerned about the VP. Joseph Boakai is going to be the president, if you like that, and not the vice president. So if you in the days for JMB, if you really believe in JMB, I want to say, go get ready on Friday. Let's celebrate. Because all you should be concerned about, JMB announced a running mate that he feels comfortable with. The vice president position is a position of the presidential candidate will feel comfortable with.
But let me ask you a question, Jackie. Can I ask him a question?
Yes,
in your own personal view, who would you like to see JMB carry as the vice president?
Anyone that JMB feels comfortable with. I believe in JMB, and I will believe in anyone he believes in. Period.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, go ahead, and then we'll go to Munir, and then Dr. Peabody, Kev, and then we'll take calls.
Look, say Jeremiah Coon posts on his pants.
ABC picks too, because yes, my question to you too, also, Mr. Jackson. You know, there's a saying that it's the presidential candidate that really not the running mate. Why are we making such a big deal with the VP picks? Okay. But go ahead.
I will answer that question later. Mr. Saki said, I'm scared. Mr. Jeremiah Coon, the last time I knew, he had 2 legs like me, and we put our pants on the same way. This ticket here, if Jeremiah Coon is picked, it's a complete betrayal of people that have been loyal to JMB, like Yombly and Henry Costa. Jeremiah Coon is a reincarnation, is an appendage of Prince Johnson. When you are looking at the political landscape to pick a vice president, especially in Liberia, I like Jeremiah Coon. I like him. His personal story is spectacular. Abandoned during the war in Buchanan, he speaks Bassa better than I do. And to go and to have progressed what he has done, I give him 100% credit for that. But there is no way that this young man is ready for the vice president, and say, I will even say the presidency. Let me tell you why. When that, I know for a fact, I'm not guessing, that Jeremiah Coon will be announced on Friday. A vice presidential pick is supposed to unite the ticket, but the Jeremiah Coon pick, right, will split the party. It will split it irreparably. It will hurt the opposition. Okay? And if they want to do it, I welcome it. I'm happy for that. The other thing is, what is this man known for in terms of in his professional life, in the House of Representatives, in the Senate? He's not identified with anything at all. Zero legislation, He's identified with the syndicate that the American ambassador was talking about, appropriation, ways and means, and not having appropriate oversight over the executive. Okay. The third thing is that when you are picking a candidate, Liberia is an aid-dependent country. An aid-dependent country is relying upon international system, primarily the United States of America. The United States of America has sanctioned his political godfather, who vacated the seat in the MDR for him to come to. When you select Jeremiah Kuhn, you are selecting Prince Johnson as president of the Republic of Liberia.
But Mr.
For the
Jackson,
following
it's
reason- let me
transferable.
finish, oh.
Transferable.
Yes, let me finish.
Okay.
I'm
Five more-
70 years old. I'm 70 years old. Susan Baka is 10 years older than I am. I've already told Zulu Queen what my burial plans will be. So every day I get is a blessing.
2 more
JB
seconds.
the same thing. Yes. So when JB is picking a vice presidential nominee, that person has a high probability. And JB could outlive me, could outlive all of us. But the probability, the statistical probability, is that the vice president will be succeeding JMB for either health reason or whatever. Do you think it is a good idea for a polarizing figure like Prince Johnson, who has been sanctioned by the United States for pay and play, right? And who was seen on international TV dismembering the body. Let me finish, yo. Dismembering the body of President Doe. That kind of polarizing figure there, for him to be de facto president when Jeremiah Kuhn is elected, I said Jeremiah Kuhn should be his own man. 2029, 2035. That's what you should be thinking about. Yeah. So right now in 2023, if you select Jeremiah Kuhn, you are selecting Prince Johnson. And with the Liberian people, so the election will be between George Manneh Weah and Prince Wyatt Johnson. That is the choice the Liberian people are faced with. And faced with those two choices, the Liberian people will choose George Manneh Weah and not Prince Wyatt Johnson.
George Weah and JP. How do you bring the VP in? Go ahead, on there.
No.
And also,
I enjoying this thing. I imagine what's going to happen when the campaign starts. My Liberian people, listen to me. It's like Samuel Jackson been watching me, and CDC and UP, they will kill each other because that the two party. CDC UP 12 years, CDC 6 years. They know each other, they know the dead. Now they're fighting over corrupt people. We said that we are the change. We got different ideas. These guys are saying that, oh no, I know how to steal, but I can still manage the country. That's what they're fighting on right now. But it's another day when CDC and UP kill themselves. Will be this election is between us from the CPP and George Weah. Now, like I told my brother Timothy, we in the same church, and most of the time we argue. I said, Mr. Cummings would not sit with Jeremiah Kuhn about vice president business. I said, just 6 months or a year ago, this was the same guy that George Weah gave money to when they started the election for Ida Gonglo. George Weah pumped a lot of money into this man. So you see, George Weah, they will bring it out and say, listen, this guy, he did that, will give him money. But not because I want to win, I should bow down to Prince Johnson. No way. We're talking about what the economic crime court. What the guarantee? Because Jeremiah Kuhn said, according to my friend, John Pro Society, he said, my man, boy, you know, you got to talk to Prince. Oh, I can't do it alone. I got to talk to Prince. What we're going to talk to Prince on? I will say this, if you want to support Mr. Cummings, whether you are criminal, you are this, and when you want to support Mr. Cummings, that means you want to change you want to repent. So you can support him. But it means that Mr. Cummings got to give you a job. You know, Samuel Jackson is afraid to support Mr. Cummings because Samuel Jackson, from the way he behaving, yes, he's a good technocrat, he's a technician. It will be hard for Mr. Cummings to use him because from the way he behaving, it's like he's flip-flop. He's a good guy, but he with this government today, he criticized the same Joshua government that he's talking about today. He criticized Bouaka the other day. He criticized Cummings. So, Mr. Jackson, just go and open your accounting firm or whatsoever business, something, and we'll use you later on. But forget about government. I can tell you that. Forget about government. But I got one of the best candidates. My presidential candidate will select a vice president. It can be a woman, it can be a man, Mandingo, it can be Muslim, it can be whatsoever, but it will be a Liberian. We're not rushing, but CPP convention is next month, and by the 13th, y'all will hear the news. But I will say this to my brother, UP, I wish you well. Whoever you want to carry is up to y'all. But understand, whoever you carry, there's consequences. So people are going to campaign. But one thing I will say, if we don't campaign, the election will be between you. Because like Grandpa, I've seen CDC and UP for the last 17 years. But this is not two-party Liberia. We got more than two parties in Liberia. We want change. We started the change. We'll continue the change. We can't go backward.
Thank you,
That's
Mr. Gay. I just want to say one thing. I remember I think a few months ago, Senator Kuhn was on I think was it Spoon Network
Spoon. Spoon.
And he admitted that there was an engagement between he and Mr. Cummings.
No, between Cummings people, not Mr. Cummings. Timothy is aware. Mr. Cummings and Kuhn never met. And people from CPP, yes, they're engaging, but this was a fear. And I said, listen.
About bringing in Mr. Kuhn.
Yes, they got people who want to, because people look at Nima Kante, but I used to give my butt. I said, y'all bring in butt. I know exactly what I was talking about. But I know my candidate was not just going to say, okay, you know what, because I want to win Nima, y'all bring Kuhn over. Then I'd rather take Tiawan Gonglo. And guess what? Maybe Saki will not want to say it. Tiawan Gonglo, and I will call the name, his sister, Edith Gonglo. Mr. Bouaka told Edith Gonglo, quote me, I got it from the family source, that your brother is too radical. I cannot carry him as my VP. So Tiawan and the LPP want to go with Mr. Bouaka, but Mr. Bouaka can't carry Tiawan because Tiawan is too radical. With Bernard Ure, it will be a problem. So he's out. You see? But if you ask me, I want to take Tiawan any day, anybody from Nima Kante.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Peabody and Jeff.
I know time is fast spent. We got to be out here by 7. We got to take phone calls, so I'm just going to make it really short. Let me say this, Mr. Vice President Bouaka. You know, there were people who, the rumors I'm hearing now, there are people who really stood with him, and one of those were Henry Costa, who went the extra miles for Mr. Bouaka. He went very extra mile, did everything. We had Yumley. Yumley was willing to risk the Liberty Party chairmanship. So willing to risk that just to support Mr. Bouaka and all, you know. And so the rumors I'm hearing about Mr. Cohn is a great man, very intelligent, good man, you know. But look, if he is selected, he needs to come out and denounce Prince Johnson. If he doesn't, because taking Prince Johnson, taking Kuhn, it's like taking Prince Johnson. And if he's a very good man, but with Prince Johnson now rejoicing all over the place, having press conference, it's like Prince Johnson has won again, if that is true. Because he's all over the place, he all on talk show calling and bragging and doing those kind of things. I don't think Jeremiah Kuhn needs to be careful because if Prince Johnson is closer to line with you, you're not going to be a good person. People are not going to, in the international community, not going to look at you like that. So just need to be careful. That's the vice president prerogative to pick anyone he wants. But I don't know what assurance he had given Prince Johnson, and he all over the place acting like he have done something. If Kuhn is selected, he need to come and deny Prince Johnson and go far away from Prince Johnson because it would not be good for them. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Kev, and then we go to the phone lines. It's the studio gets ready for the phone.
We all know Prince Johnson is the one that running the Unity Party. Prince Johnson went on air. He asked for money. He asked for a position. Same thing that he was sanctioned for, pay to play.
Aaron asked for money.
Yes, he did. He did ask for. Is there? He did ask for money. He said he want money. They should.
Which money? No, can't be clear. Which money?
He asked for.
The
Nima County people money. The county money is now he asked for money for himself.
Prince Johnson asked for money. He asked for job.
No, Jackie, we cannot allow you to fly. Musu listening. Our listening. Which money Prince Johnson asked for?
So
we can't use the platform to spread propaganda. Which money?
Jackie.
You just say he asked for money. Which money?
Jackie.
He asked for the Nima County money. He's a sitting senator.
Barney, let him finish. Go ahead.
No, but we can't allow this thing to fly. My old man listening, bomb She don't have the time. You believe it.
Why she gonna do way bomb? She's gonna beat it all up this.
Somebody is actually bombing.
Prince Johnson went on air. He asked the government for money. He asked for job. He said his party need job. And he went over to Buckeye. He gave his request. Joe Buckeye accepted. Give them the job, the running mates, and he is the prime minister right now. He running the show.
Can I ask a quick question?
How you want to know Prince Johnson running the show? How you want to know your question? How you want to know?
You got 30 more seconds, and I will give money.
How you want to know?
And Monel, 1 second.
How you want to know? How you want to know Prince Johnson? How you want to know Prince Johnson running the show? Number one, he's the only man in the whole country who announced clearly on the radio yesterday that Jeremiah Coon, he announced it. When the journalist asked him, he said, "I'm an insider. I know."
But he also said, "If he is."
No. He was very clear.
If he did, I watched.
Let me. He was very clear. He called. He said, "I'm an insider." He gave a proposal to JMB, and JMB followed. Jeremiah Coon were not in. Jeremiah Coon was not. Name was not added. Nothing. Everybody was thinking about Yombly. Then Costa came in. But look, this is the biggest betrayal in modern politics. People who stood by you. People who stood by you, especially Aaron Costa, who got insulted. Are you saying that Jeremiah Coon is more presidential than Costa? That's what the Pape is saying. Pape is saying Coon is more presidential than Costa. Costa, you are nothing. So
yeah,
let me respond.
We got 9 minutes to go though.
Yeah, let me respond quick.
No, I don't.
Let me respond quick.
Unless we can do calls on Friday.
Let me write a chat point to stop Kev because
round 2 of this panelist. Go ahead, Barney.
Yes.
Let me just use few seconds to stop Kev from going forward. Prince Johnson did not ask for money. Prince Johnson advocated for money and for Nima County.
You don't want to interview Prince Johnson.
Let me say this. I'm coming. Let me say this, Jackie.
I spoke to Prince Johnson on air.
Let me say this, Jackie. Let me say this.
I spoke with Prince Johnson on that money issue.
What?
I did. Now you.
Let me say,
Let him
Let me-
talk, and then Mayor will talk, and then you can have 2 seconds to respond.
let me say this to the audience. We got to adopt the system of 21st century politicking. You can be honest and still defeat your opponent. You don't have to spread lies. Prince Johnson did not come to beg for money.
Ask for money.
Prince Johnson spoke about money that's supposed to be for Nima County. He said they need that money. Number two, I'm coming. Number two, I'm coming. Number two, I'm coming. Number two, Kev, no matter how you coming up, my how you hear the truth. You're not going to live. You're not going to suffer with that. Number two,
Listen.
number two.
Listen. I spoke with Prince Johnson on air, not you.
Okay, I also spoke to him. After he spoke to him, I spoke to him, and he told me. And what I heard on radio was Prince Johnson advocating for money. That is
on record. Go back and listen to it.
Oh, stop this! Stop interrupting, please. Go ahead, Vonnie. Say what you gotta say real quickly, and then we'll go to Manette. And Kevin can respond.
Mamusu, Majabe, Pana, Kamo. Prince Johnson did not ask for money. He advocated for money as senator for Nima County because the money is for the Nima County people. Number one. Number two, when you form an alliance that you call Coalition for Democratic Change, people come there with interest and will agree upon that job will be this, will be that. He advocated for the post on the job agreed in the coalition document.
Thank you, Vonnie. Go
Okay.
ahead, Manette.
No, this election will be too sweet. You're okay, each other. You're in the CDC people. You're okay, each other.
Because for oh no, say, let me come. Let me respond 1 second to that people. Yeah, 1 second.
But
Yeah, I don't think my brother can send me 1 second for you.
Jackie,
No,
gotta go to the line. Listen, before we go, I just want to say this, and to my people who watching, in terms of war, prepare for peace. In terms of peace, prepare for war. We are all opponent. Yes, we are opposition, but we're all fighting for the same thing.
Thank you.
I know Mr. Boaka already got 3 persons on his list. I know 1 person is out because it says you don't have a political party to bring over. Heron Costa is in our race, and Jeremiah Kuhn is there. What I would say, I wish you be the best. We are prepared and waiting for any one of them that you'll bring up because I've done my research. And by the time you're announcing name, I don't want to hide it from you that I will be going ballistic on them. We already know what we're supposed to talk about, but I think if I will pay me, I give my own list suggestion. But the fact of the matter is that y'all on the other side, because I know y'all will do to go to pick 2. So thank you.
Go to the lines now. Can we'll take like a few calls. We gotta do round 2 of this. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree. We gotta do round 2.
But y'all find somebody good from CDC. Y'all can bring Johnson here because Mr. Johnson just talk on a topic because Johnson too slow in talking.
Mr. Johnson reading too many books. He got no relation to the everyday issue. He reading too many books. That's what happened to
CDC, man.
Jackie, let's do like 5 calls.
CDC, man.
Okay, my brother.
Jackie,
We gotta go to.
But yeah,
We gotta go to the phone lines.
All right, please read the number out.
So we gotta go to the phone lines, and the number to call and be part of the show tonight. 0880 60 33 60 0880 60 33 60 or 0775 60 33 60. The numbers to call and form part of the program tonight. We are live on Hot FM 107.9. We are also live on Puma FM in Bombay County 106.3. 0880 60 33 60 0880 60 33 60 and 0775 60 33 60 are the numbers to call
Okay, so
to
can we
form
start?
part of the program.
Also live on.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening. You're live.
Hello.
You're live. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. You're live.
Hello.
You are live. Stop listening to your monitor.
0775
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, you're live.
Yeah, I'm monitoring your show concerning about this election. Anyway, I'm Kevin calling from Ralphie Highway.
Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, what all we need to do, as for me, I hear some people in studio talking about there will be war and PGCDC and Middle Party. We pray that everything will be okay because we all, after election, we all will come out together. We are Liberian. We then need to pray hard things will work out for good, and we pray for Women Joe Parker at least to make a rightful decision, but to be real. CDC will still win the election. They go outside the countdown election for CDC. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening.
After my last call,
Good evening. Hello.
Next call.
Hello.
Next call. Is there another call? Because we got 7 more minutes to go.
Good evening.
evening.
Yes, you're live.
Yeah. I'm calling from organization.
Go ahead.
Hello?
You are live. Go ahead. Go ahead.
For me, I suggest, okay, they get my phone on Google. I will leave for CDC.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
There was somebody down.
Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. You're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I see somebody talking on the radio that was.
You're listening to the radio. Stop listening to the radio. Go ahead. Listen to the phone.
Yeah, I'm a Uber. I got it wrong. So clear.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I said, your way will win. Your way will win. I don't care. Wasn't out. Five president, they say, your way will win.
Okay. Thank you.
Last call.
Good evening. Yes, go ahead. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
You are live.
It's Luke from Marshall Highway, my son, to be precise.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying to you guys, instead of appreciate you guys, President Weah will go back for the second term. And when we tire, President Weah will lift up somebody's hand to carry again. We won't trust none of the people you're calling. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. No more calls.
Good evening.
Hello?
Good
Yeah,
evening.
good evening.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm over there calling from Oro Singer.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, the issue of the woman choosing Jamaican, I've seen it possible because a woman decided to choose Jamaican. I mean, this would win. Thank you.
All right. So much. That's it. No more calls. Mr. Jackson, you are our guest, so please go first, and we look forward to doing a round 2 of this, maybe sometime next week. Go ahead and be quick because we only got 4 more minutes. So you got 30 seconds, and then we'll go to Monday, and then we'll go to Monday.
So the general say, I'm not going to talk for CDC because I talking so book. So
No, I say so. I say you're so slow. You're wasting time. You're killing the time.
So you want me to get emotional?
No, you're
I'm
killing
very
the time.
happy.
You're wasting your time.
We will rap. Listen to me, my brother. We will rap Prince P.Y. John, Prince Johnson, P.Y.J. We will wrap him around Omen Boyka. We're wrapping around Omen Boyka. Picking Jeremiah Kuhn on Friday. We're picking Prince Johnson to be president of Liberia.
Thank you so much.
The Labron Poor will decide whether they will vote and put Prince Johnson in the executive.
Thank you,
Every
Mr.
president, Madam Salim, used Prince Johnson and used the votes. Okay, she did not pick a surrogate for Prince Johnson. Let me finish now. You said 30 seconds.
No, but it's up now because
Hey, also, okay. We will wrap Prince Johnson around Jeremiah Kuhn and JMB neck for the next 5 months. That's all we'll talk about. Prince White Johnson versus George Weah. That's the choice for the Liberian people. And that choice is very easy, that we don't want Prince Johnson in the executive mansion. We prefer to have George Manneh Weah there. End of conversation. Period.
Okay, I want to say thanks to everyone. And those of you who listen to us on radio, I just want to tell you this. I want you to vote your conscience. Liberia is right in your hands. It's like the little boy who had the bird and asked the man if the bird is alive or not. You can rescue Liberia. If you see what's going on today between the CDC and the UP, all our corrupt officials are trying to gather one place. They either go to UP or they go to CDC. But what we want to tell you, your future is at stake. 12 years ago, you were in the dungeon. You voted for, you went as opposition. 5 years, President Weah became president. Your life is still the same. Some of you people got your first child in 2017, and today they're still not in school. So I beg you, please vote wisely. Vote for the best person that you think will change Liberia. Don't vote on popularity. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Barney. 30 seconds.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I want to say to my dear brother Tamalin, George, Kev, Hassan, to the people out in the rest. Thank you so much. I want to say, get prepared for the Green Day, 10 Monrovia Grain on Friday. Let me conclude by saying this to my uncle. Let me re-emphasize my uncle Sam Jackson. The same way CDC robbed Prince Johnson around Ellen Johnson neck, the same way United Party robbed Prince Johnson around George Weah neck. I'm asking you, CDC, wrap Prince Johnson around Joseph Boakai neck. If he selects JMB, I'm asking you, CDC, please do all a favor. Wrap Prince Johnson around Joseph Boakai neck if he selects Jeremiah Kuhn, so we can get the same result we got when he will wrap it around Eddie Johnson neck, and Eddie Johnson and CDC people and United Party people wrap it around Gloria neck in 2017. May God bless you. May God prosper you. And we hope to see the whole city turning green, because the rescue team is moving and Joseph Boakai is set to build the foundation upon which a prosperous Liberia will flourish. Thank you so much, and may God bless Liberia.
Thank you to our guest, Mr. Jackson. Thank you so much for being on the closing argument today. To our guest panelists, both the General and Varney Saki, we are looking forward to seeing you, all three of you again. We must do a part 2 of this on the closing argument. And next time we'll start much earlier so we can get a whole lot more in. Before we go, the 4 of us, we're not going to give our closing argument because we have to go. Thank you to our viewers, to our producers, to Hot FM for today's show. It was a wonderful, fantastic show. And next, we have to schedule. Please, we'll be in contact with you, with the 3 of you, Mr. Saki, Mr. and Mr. Jackson, for sometime next week. Until then, we'll be here on Friday, and on Friday afternoon, we would have seen the results from the announcement from JMB. We're looking forward to an exciting Friday show. Once again, thank you to our many viewers. Until then, we'll see you on Friday.
Thank you. Very good having you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jackie, great job too for moderating. It was tough dealing with these opposition folks. Yeah, it was tough.
Thank you. Bye.
2 minutes, I'll call you, man.
Okay.
There you have it. And so the closing argument was a fascinating one tonight. So until Friday, when we come back to you on your screen here again, once again, we want to say thanks to Hot FM for relaying this program. Thanks also to Puma FM in Bomi County for relaying this program. My name is Aisin Diba on behalf of the entire team here at KMTV, wishing you a very pleasant night from the nation's capital, Monrovia.